What would happen if I cut down a tree, then I immediately began using that wood to build a piece of furniture? That scenario would not end well. Why? Because there's moisture in wood. Not just moisture, but water. Lots and lots of water. Up to 50% of a tree can be water by weight. You can't even use this freshly cut wood for firewood until the moisture drops to about 20% or less. Every woodworker needs to have a basic understanding of wood moisture. And today on Alley Picked, I'm going to simplify and demystify wood moisture in today's quick tip. My 8-year-old grandson saw me with this freshly cut pine tree stick and asked what I was doing with it. I told him I was measuring the moisture, or the amount of water that's in the wood. And he looked at me kind of funny, and I knew what he was thinking. And then he said, "There's water in wood?" If wood has too much moisture in it, it can shrink, crack, break joints. It'll ruin a piece of furniture. Usually, I don't even worry about this because most of the time I buy wood from home centers, lumber yards, or estate sales where the wood has already been dried. It's been dried in an oven or kiln or air dried or a combination of both. But how can you be sure that wood is dry enough to use? The answer is you can test it using a gadget like this. This is a moisture meter. This one's inexpensive and it's a pin type. 2 sharp metal prongs stab the wood and tell you the percentage of water in it. There is a better and more expensive type of moisture meter that doesn't poke holes into the wood, but it rather sits on top of the wood and sends signals deep into the wood for accurate readings. Remember, wood is going to dry on the outside first before it reaches the middle. Here's a piece of wood that I cut open. I took measurements on the inside, it was 14%. The outside, 12.8%. This is going to be true except in wood that's already been dried. Here's a 2x3 that's been sitting in my garage for months. I cut open the middle and took some measurements. Would you believe that the center is drier than the outside? This was 8.4 and 8.6. Why is that? Why is the middle drier than the outside? The reason is because once a piece of wood has reached its EMC, or equilibrium moisture content, meaning it's not going to give up much, if any, water, what happens is it continues to absorb moisture from the air. So now the outside is going to actually have more water than the inside.
That's amazing.
Here's another fascinating fact about moisture in wood. So this piece of wood has about 8% moisture content. Let's say that I box this up and ship it over to my friend Mark in Ireland, and he takes a measurement. It might be 13% water. Why is that? Because certain climates have different moisture content, and that's going to be absorbed in the wood and thereby affecting the moisture content of that piece of wood. So it's going to be different depending on your location. It might also be different whether I store this in my house or in my garage. Here's another fascinating fact about moisture in wood. Have you ever cut a piece of wood and then it warped? This can happen when the lumber dries too quickly. Remember, wood dries from the outside in, but if that happens too rapidly, it can cause the outer shell to harden, locking in the moisture. Picture it like a piece of bread in a toaster. If it dries on the outside too quickly, it seals in the moisture. Now, when you cut a piece of wood in this condition, the inner locked-in stress can cause the board to warp. So what is the acceptable level of moisture content in wood? Well, there is no perfect answer. Every species of wood is different. Every building material is different. What you need is a stable wood. The wood has to have reached its EMC, equilibrium moisture content. You don't want a piece of wood shrinking while you're using it. Have you ever laid down deck boards and you space them about 1/8 of an inch apart, and a few months later you've got these huge gaps in between the boards? That's because you didn't let the wood dry out enough. If you're interested in this and you want to start measuring the moisture content yourself, I'm giving away this Top Tez pin type moisture meter. Now, if you don't win this one, you can purchase them on Amazon. The current price is $19.99. But if you want to win this, or at least a chance to win, here's what you do. In the comments section on this video, just tell me that you want to be entered into the contest. I'll put your name in a hat, and then in about a week or so, I'll pick out a name and let you know if you won. Thanks for watching Alley Picked and today's quick tip.